Googie. I am one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, which is a pre-physical therapy platform that helps pre-PTs like yourself get into PT school without wasting time or money. So this live stream is really a take two live stream. Last night what's up, Nyasha? How you doing? Last night, Nyasha and I tried to do this live stream, and I was at my new home. This is my old place. We're leaving like tomorrow officially, so like it's super empty right now. But my internet had not been moved over, so it was a mess. So we decided to do it tonight, just so Nyasha could share her story with you. She's one of our accepted system winners, who is an absolute powerhouse. Clarissa, Jocelyn, how you guys doing? She's an absolute powerhouse, and so I'm gonna have her share her experience with you guys live tonight. And then if you guys have any questions, I want you guys to drop them below. If you guys are watching live, comment #team live. If you're watching this on replay, comment #team replay. I just like to know who's on, and I do appreciate each and every one of you as well. So let me see if I can bring on Nyasha, and then let's see, Nyasha, if you're watching this, just make sure you're on your cell phone. It's not letting me add you. It's showing like you might not be on your cell phone right now, but you can comment below, Nyasha. But so today, as she's coming on, I've had a number of different calls with pre-PTs today, and this is literally as I finished like at my clinic. So I saw patients all day, and then I got on the phone because this is what I love to do. And so it's a lot of the same fears. And as I was listening today, what's up, Felicia? How you doing? It's almost like now that it's crunch time, everyone's like, okay, Joseph, what do I have to do? What do I need to do to make sure I'm locked in? How do I navigate this whole thing? And one of the biggest things I love to do, because I like giving advice. I like giving direction. But one of the biggest things that the students I spoke with today needed was they just needed to know that somebody else had been exactly where they were. And the reason for bringing Nyasha on here live is for that very reason. It's important to know that our dreams are not out of reach. So for you, whether it's GPA, GRE, whatever it might be, it's good to have that hope, but it's another layer to know that somebody else has done it, somebody else has been in those shoes, or somebody else is walking in those shoes. And that's why I thoroughly enjoy the interviews that we have, whether it's pre-PTs that are coming here live, whether it's individuals that are coming onto our podcast. But it's important that y'all see. Let's see, just try updating the app. All right, Nyasha, you already updated it? No, y'all, listen. I've been so excited to bring Nyasha on. Like, Facebook needs to free Nyasha. Just let her go live, Facebook. It's not letting her on for some reason. Dang, like I really wanted to bring her on, and it doesn't look like it's letting us. Because this is all, like, I wasn't coming here to teach tonight. I just wanted you guys to listen to her story, listen to her experience, and be inspired by it, but just know, like, kind of just what she did, how she navigated through it, how she was able, yeah, there we go, Felicia, free Nyasha, like how she navigated through it as a pre-PT. But I don't know what's going on with Zucks and Facebook and all that. We'll let her try again, but really, like, that's the biggest thing. This Sunday I am doing a training for a lot of you that are applying this cycle or next cycle. I'm doing a training where I'm going to be going in to the nitty gritty of what we've shown our students in the accepted system. It's www.leveluptheprept.com. If someone wants to comment that below, www.leveluptheprept.com, because I want y'all to level up if you want to. I mean, it's up to you. But we want to go into an in-depth training. But tonight and tomorrow, we have another guest tomorrow. I just want you to hear from other pre-PTs. I want you to hear from other people that are exactly where you are or where you're trying to be. And then from there, like, it's game over. Let's see. Oh, wait, it's letting me add Nyasha. Hold up. Wait a minute. It might. I don't know. It's saying it's trying to add her on. Yo, whoever said hashtag free Nyasha, it might be working. Jennifer, Michael, how you guys doing? For those of y'all that are just joining us, we've been trying to get Facebook to link us up with Nyasha. If it does it, we're good. If it doesn't, that's all right as well. We'll figure it out. But it's saying it's adding her, so hopefully it works. But let's see. Nyasha, it's trying to bring you on, Nyasha, but if it doesn't, no worries at all. Let's see. Man, Facebook. Ah, y'all, this is why I love man. Anyway, this is why I love like in person like lives, like where somebody is right here with me, like live, where we could just say, all right, let's go. It tried. Oh, Kara, I'm trying. Kara, I'm trying so hard. Let's try one more time. Oh, it's really acting a fool. It's acting a fool. Well, if it doesn't work in the next 30 seconds, don't worry. I'm gonna end this live stream, and then we'll go from there. But really, you don't want to miss the training. Go to www.levelupprept.com. We are going to be covering the 6 proven steps to getting locked into PT school. And if you're applying right now, um, it might be the time to start learning those key things. And then also, despite whether being rejected or fear of rejection or low GPA, low GRE score, we're going to cover all of that. So be there or be square. She's saying try one more time. So let's try one more time. All right. Let's try this. This is the last time. Y'all, listen, just like, I don't know if they have like a cross finger emoji. I think they do. Just like put that one up. Let's see if it'll let us. If it lets us, that'd be great. If it doesn't, we have tried our best. It's saying connecting. Y'all, listen. Oh. You're good, Nyasha. You're here. Nyasha, can you hear me? All right. Say what's
Hello?
up so I can know that you're here. All right, it has a little
It's a
delay,
delay.
but
Yeah, I can
that's
hear
all
it
right.
too.
I just wanted you here live because you're doing all the talking. Like y'all listen. This has been, if you're joining us live, we just went through like 10 minutes of Facebook trying to eliminate this live stream. Facebook did not want this to happen, y'all. Facebook, Clarissa, Sylvia, Kara, Jennifer, like all y'all that were supporting Nyasha to come on live, man. Thank y'all for your thoughts. But it's finally worked. Nyasha, I'm gonna let you do the talking. Tonight, what I want you to do is I want you to share your story with these winners here. I want you to talk a little bit about, because really what Nyasha's talking about is she'll tell you a little bit about her backstory. Like, first of all, why she chose PT in the first place. Second of all, a little bit about what she does. Like, she's not your typical, like, I went to, I'm like a junior in college. I'm just studying, trying to get into PT school. She's doing a little bit more than that. So she's going to tell you a little bit about that, what her big fears were, what her big shift was. That's what we're talking about today. What her big shift was, and then really what her piece of advice or wisdom is for you. I'm not teaching tonight, y'all. It's her. So Nyasha, thank you so much for being willing to take time out of your it's like afternoon because you're in California. So for taking time out of your early evening. Yeah, listen, I make fun of
I was
everybody
about
from
to
California
say,
because it's 9:22
I just
here
got
right
off
now.
work. It's six
It's
o'clock.
9:20.
Like, it's a reasonable hour. It's a
Stop
reasonable
it.
hour.
Man, we old people out here get ready to go to bed and all right, but so tell us a little about like why physical therapy first of all, and a little bit about what your frustrations as an applicant as a pre-PT were or have been, and then we'll dive into the second part.
Okay.
All yours.
So basically, how I got started with physical therapy was as a junior, not a junior college, a junior high volunteer. You had to do a certain volunteer work in order to graduate from junior high school. And at first, I really wanted to be a veterinarian because I like, something medical related and oh my goodness, this delay is really bad. Ah, this is trippy.
No, you're
And
good.
Can
You're
we
good.
reconnect? Because mine, it's really, really bad. That's
All right. So I'll have you. You
okay.
can hop off and then like close the app and
Okay.
just open it
Real quick.
again. I'm gonna talk
All
to
right.
these
Talk to
people.
the
I
people.
mean,
Talk to the people.
hopefully they stick around and listen to me talk. Like hop off and then perfect. So you know what? As we're waiting for her, what like let me ask y'all a few questions right now. Like, what are some of the fears? Like, if you're applying right now, if you're applying next year, tell me what are some of your big fears as an applicant? What are some of your biggest fears as an applicant? What right now? What's keeping you up at night if you're applying? What what are the thoughts or concerns that are troubling you? I mean, if you're willing to share, I'd love to see them below, because I want us to start breaking down some of those things. Not enough time, so not feeling like I have enough time to get everything sold out. Not even a low GRE. Like I don't. Joe says I don't feel like I have a low GRE score. Not being able to finish my essays. Clarissa, hit me up and I got you. But not being able to finish up my essays. What are y'all's fears? Like, what are the frustrations that you guys currently have as applicants, as pre-PTs, as Nyasha hops back in here? Let's see if it adds her on. Let's see. Man, I'm glad Facebook is cooperating tonight. Last night it just gave us it was a no-go. So how you doing right now? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay, that's a thousand
All right.
percent better.
Let's just see.
All right. Thank you for being so patient, everyone. Really appreciate it. Technical difficulties, the internet. What you
Not
gonna
even stress. All right. So Kara, so I was asking them what their biggest fears are. So not being able to finish my essays, low GRE, not enough time, not getting accepted. Those are all normal. And I want you to hear some of Nyasha's as she shares her story. And then we're gonna talk like at the end, like we're gonna talk about things that you can do tangibly right now, or steps that you can take tangibly right now to start alleviating some of those because they hold us back. Our fears like hold us back from one knowing what to do next, two actually taking action because we spend so much time stuck. Like when something is so terrifying, we usually freeze, and when you freeze, you don't act. When you don't
Right.
act, you don't get results, and you end up like sometimes you actually the thing you were scared of most ends up happening because you didn't actually take the actions that would have prevented it. And so it's normal, it's human, and that's why we want y'all to hear other people's stories. But Nyasha, tell us why PT, and then what were your big fears?
Um, First starting into physical therapy, just exploring the field itself. I was required as a junior high in order to graduate. You had to volunteer in the career field that you were interested in. And for me, I wanted to become a vet. I wanted, to help. I like fluffy animals, all that good jazz. And so I volunteered at a veterinarian facility, and it wasn't it. And so I knew like day one, this is not it. um, and so I had my grandma, had a friend that was like, okay, you're running out of time to complete these hours. I have a friend that owns a physical therapy clinic. Why don't you do some hours there? Just knock it out. And so I went there just for the hours, not to really, I was just like, okay, wherever I can get the hours, I'll do the hours. And I fell in love with it. Like, first day, absolutely fell in love with it. Like, the gratitude that I saw the patients getting, the fact that the physical therapists really loved what they were doing, and it was very obvious that the physical therapists loved that, um, really changed my perspective and really drove it home for what I wanted to do. And I always knew I wanted to do something medically related and I wanted to help. Um, so after that, I did some research and found out more about the field and things of that nature. And I wanted to outreach and outsource like the best and figure out how I can make this a livelihood for me.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. So you go from going down the direction of wanting to be a vet Now you're locked in on physical therapy. How sure, like at this point, how sure were you that the PT was it, or was it just kind of something you were like, man, this looks cool. They're happy. They like what they're doing, or were you pretty
Right.
certain that this was your calling?
No, I was pretty locked in. I was pretty locked in. For me personally, it was trying to figure out the next step. Um, I grew up in, South Queens. There wasn't a lot of doctors and things of that nature coming up. Um, and so like trying to find a path or trying to find guidance wasn't really um, a resource, I guess you could say, as well as being like in and out of the system and things of that nature. Um, so academically, there was no guidance for me. And so I was kind of trying to poke around and figure it out on my
Yeah,
own. And I think that was, I think, the most
yeah,
difficult part because I started like looking into like bio, like pre-med, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. Like, I understand like I'm supposed to be at a doctorate level, but what am I supposed to do in between, right? And so I actually had a dance instructor at one point. I was working on my grand jetés for ballet, and I was like trying to figure out how to really like improve and all this other stuff. And she got into like the nitty gritty anatomy of it, and I was like, wait a minute, like what is this? And we started discussing and having a conversation, and she was like, well, have you heard of kinesiology? And I was like, no, I have not. So I go on the Googler, I start researching, and I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. At the time, I was a bio major and I was
yeah.
miserable. um, so discovering kinesiology, I think, was the next stepping point for me and really locking in and just really enjoying the work that I was doing, the studies that I was doing, and just being fascinated with the things that I didn't know.
Wow. So now you're locked in. So, well, let me, well, comment below because I sent out an email to a number of people this morning where I was talking a little bit about peace and how when we make a huge transition, whether it's a decision to go into a profession. So everybody in here is either decided to be a PT or is deciding whether they want to be a PT or not. There's always a sense of peace when, like, in that first instant, right? Let's just find out.
Yeah.
So, from those of y'all watching, right, as pre PTs, some of y'all might be PT students. Like, when you decided to become a physical therapist, like, if like, how peaceful was it on a scale of 0 to 10? Like, the moment you were like, "Whew, this is this is it," like on a scale of 0 to 10, how peaceful? Don't think about GRE, don't think about GPA, don't think about all the other stuff. Like the
No.
moment you decided PT was it, like that first instant, like how peaceful was it? Like scale of 0 to 10. Like comment it below. Like y'all could do a number, y'all can write it out in words. It's up to you. Okay, 10, Kara. Like like
10.
everybody who's watching this live or on replay, like how peaceful was it? Because you're laying out something that we forget as applicants. Like the moment we have that assurance that this is what we want comes with a great deal of peace. And so you're like, yo, this is it.
For sure.
I'm locked in. I can do this. Let's freaking go. And then as you go on, yeah, Sylvia says definitely 10 because I finally knew what I was gonna do. Yeah. Sylvia's out here just trying to figure out like what am I gonna do? Parents, come on, man. Like I need to do something that my parents will at least be proud of. Like you know how we but now you have this level of peace, which I think is important. If as a pre-PT, like you do not have that level of peace, you may not have found your career yet. Like if you're just doing PT because you're appeasing mama or daddy, if you're doing PT because you saw it in a blog somewhere and it looked cool and that's it, but you don't have that sense of peace, like you don't have like the clarity of the decision making process, then honestly you probably shouldn't be locking in on PT quite yet. You got to ask a few other questions because the stuff that happens afterwards always has to be traced back to this point. So, and I'll explain why in a little bit because Nyasha's story is about to lay that out. So Nyasha, you say, yo, I have this piece, I'm locked in. Kenise locks it in.
Yeah.
As you're going through, like, what are some of the hurdles you ended up having or frustrations that you ended up having during your journey as an applicant or as a pre-PT in general?
I would definitely say there were several. There were several. For me, a lot of the frustration came from, I would honestly say, the lack of me reaching out and asking for help. I would say a lot of pre-PTs, because we are in this kind of dynamic where we've been told the same narrative, where we've been shunned because of our GPA, we've been shunned because of X, Y, and Z. The quantitative factors. I stopped outreaching and looking out for and wanting to find resources and looking for help, because the help that I was given wasn't helpful. It was actually super discouraging. It was heartbreaking to hear that something that I've loved since the 8th grade is no longer attainable to me because I had a couple of C's and D's, you know? And so that was super heartbreaking. And I think that was one of my kind of mess ups in my process, is that I kind of shunned myself in because the resources that were being provided for me were so negative. So negative. I actually had a counselor at one point tell me I wasn't even going to graduate like college. I wasn't even going to get into college. So when you're fed with that like level of negativity, you don't want to reach out. You're like, you know what? I'll just do it on my own and muscle through. And I think every PT student can say muscling through on your own is a no. But that's what I ended up doing, honestly. Another frustration for me is like, after I got over that hurdle and I was like, all right, I'm going to make it work regardless. And I was like trying to make sure I was doing extracurriculars. I was trying to make myself stand out as an applicant. I was still being told like, it's not going to happen for you, because I did apply my first year coming out of college. Even though I can definitely say I was not ready in the slightest. Everyone was like, you have such great potential. Look at your resume. Look at all the things that you're doing. And I was like, well, I don't feel like I'm ready. You know, that sense of still, like, in that sense of peace, I wasn't ready, but I was like, you know what? Everyone says go for it, so go for it. And I think at that time I had like the maximum amount of pending classes that you could possibly have. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And everyone was like, just go for it, just go for it. And I was like, okay. And so I know at the time that I for sure wasn't ready, and I probably should have just taken a minute to reflect. But I know for me, it was that, how would I say this? It was that I guess you could say that I wanted to jump ahead of the hurdle as opposed to like getting all my ducks in a row. And just because of that one time that I didn't get in, everyone was like, well, that's it, done. Go look at another career. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've done all this work and I've worked so hard for so long, and knowing that I wanted to hear people say like, oh, you should actually look into a different career. And I started doing that, which was a complete waste of time. I mean, like, yes, granted, you know, I got through the process of like that mindset, but I knew I didn't want to do anything else, but I thought I was forced to, because I wasn't moving forward as a pre-PT. I wasn't moving forward into physical therapy, which was a huge setback to like life, finances, things of that nature, like wanting to start life. And we all know PTAs don't make a significant wage. So yes, financially, it was a setback. And, you know, your family's looking at you, your spouse is looking at you like, okay, what are you doing? Why aren't you, you know, a doctor yet? And so that, I would say, was a huge, huge setback. And I started looking into different careers, and I was angry a little bit. I was like angry, and I was kind of heartbroken. I was kind of heartbroken because I thought I had to go down this pathway that I really didn't want to. I didn't want to. So that was one of my big frustrations, for sure.
I mean, is she talking to y'all yet? Like, I mean, Sylvia's like, girl, I feel you. So I know Sylvia kind of went through the same stuff. I mean, I don't know if some of y'all that are watching live have either gone through what Nyasha was going through at that time, or going through it right now. I mean, if you would like to let us know, you could just put a little hand up. I mean, you want me? I mean, but it's so you're not alone in that process of figuring it out. Like, isn't it funny that as soon as you got rejected that first time, everybody's option was pull the plug.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Immediately.
it's, do you, I mean, y'all realize why that is, right? It's because one, you have to understand, like if y'all are looking for confirmation from your parents to let you guys know whether you should reapply or apply again or all that stuff, like the honest truth is, like, remember the piece, like we oh my gosh, you about to teach them so much tonight. Like the piece that y'all had when you decided to be a physical therapist was your clarifying factor. Like, that in itself was your clarifying factor that this was the profession for you, simply put.
Right.
And what happens is we usually go to people that don't care. One, they actually don't care about physical therapy. They care about us. If someone cares about me and not what I'm trying to get into, then they're going to try to save me before they save my career or whatever my goal is. And so in that situation, like Nyasha, you get rejected, it's easier for them to say, you know what, we care about Nyasha too much. PT, whatever. Like, she can find something else. Like, we just need her to be happy. And happiness to them means find a profession that you can actually get into. like that to them, because
Right.
for them, it's almost like accomplishment supersedes or completely avoids to embrace that, like the clarity or the knowledge that you are living within your purpose. Does that make sense? And even as
Yeah.
you're like exploring, you can tell us as much as you want to tell us, but like even as you're exploring like other careers, like did it feel like, wow, like I found that purpose again? Like, yeah.
Oh my God, no. I was so when somebody's like hanging on a cliff and they're like scraping
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like holding on like that. It was one of those moments. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like, it felt like somebody was pulling me from something that I was holding on to so badly and I was grasping onto. And to answer your question, I would say maybe 6 months to 9 months I was spending exploring different career fields. And not only just like, oh, la la la, career fields, like degrees, like master's degree, just different degrees entirely. And I won't say it's a huge waste of time because it definitely kind of really clarified what I want to do after physical therapy school. But keyword, after physical therapy
Hmm.
school,
Hmm.
we're doing this. It's happening. Um, so it was just one of those things. When you just feel the universe and it's trying, like the negativity is just really trying, pulling it. I'm like, no, but it just didn't feel right. And for me, like even when I go into clinic, and I haven't been in clinic, let's say a week or so, I was on vacation, and I come back, it just feels like right. Everything just feels like the rest of the world almost disappears in a way. And that becomes my happy place. I have two
Hmm.
happy places: the beach and the clinic. That's it.
Wow.
That's where I just melt. And everything else, all my worries, all my other stuff, when I'm with my clients, all of it's gone. All of it's gone. I could be having a crappy day. And
Hmm.
when I'm in the clinic, that's it. That becomes my realm. That becomes my world. And so I didn't want to let go of that. I didn't want to
I
let
know
go of
Brent.
that.
I know Brent's hearing you. Like, do some of y'all feel the same way? I mean, the reason why we're talking about this is because, like, I know, not even think, like, I know that there are a number of y'all, like, watching live, some of y'all watching this on replay, some of you, like, listening to this as a podcast episode. You're you're listening and watching and saying, like, I'm currently in the process of looking at other career paths. Like, I'm currently in the process of looking at other options. Like, I mean, you don't have to call yourself out. Like I'm currently in the process of figuring out what my plan B is. And what it sounds like you're saying, Nyasha, is like if you already know what your plan A, not if you don't really know what your plan A is, if you just kind of stumbled upon the profession, okay, I get where the doubt comes from. But
Which
if
is
you
totally
have
fine.
such, yeah, it's
Right.
cool. Like listen. as much as we talk about like, yeah, go, like, I really want y'all to pick the best, like, make the best decision for you. Nyasha can tell you all that from experience. Like, you like when you know. Like, if you have that piece, like, PT is it, and everything else is just gonna feel like literally, it's gonna feel like a makeshift version of the real deal. And it's exactly what Nyasha just said.
And
Like,
I
you
almost
like,
felt like I was gonna put on this weird persona as well. Like
hmm,
it wasn't even gonna be me. It was like a mask that I was putting on for the rest of the world to make them happy and to make them, content with my decisions, which is really bizarre. But that's exactly what it is. Like you said, you're those individuals want to help, and it's just like, okay, here's this persona or this mask that I'm gonna throw on to kind of silence you guys up because I just don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I don't want to hear the negativity. I don't want to hear you should do this, you should do that. It's just, all right, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm very thankful that I didn't go with that. I had, individuals that were like, Nyasha, when are you going to get a real job? Why are you working like 5 jobs? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it was super, super frustrating, especially like fresh out of, undergrad. It was like, why are you still working at this job? It's not paying enough. Like, I could have taken, other career fields or, other jobs just to pay the bills, but it didn't feel right. And I knew that I wanted more as a pre-PT, and I knew that I could grow where I was at Cal State LA. And so I'm actually really happy that I didn't listen, and I kind of just really stood in my truth.
hmm, hmm. Yeah, so break it down for us now. So you're like, you've clearly made it known that you're like, yo, this is what I want. Like, how did you get back to the point where you are right now? Because you're currently applying, correct?
Correct.
So like, what made the transition? Like, what made the transition from the overwhelm, the frustration, the anxiety, a lot of the voices that you're hearing? Like, what was it? Like, talk us through that journey, because if I'm listening right now and I'm a pre-PT and I'm where you were, I'm applying right now, but I'm kind of applying with like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, I'm borderline looking at what my other options are. I'm kind of scared about what my mom's gonna say, because this is my second time going at it or my third time going at it. I'm scared of like failing myself. I'm scared of letting myself down. I'm literally hearing a lot of stuff from my advisor telling me to choose something. Like, okay, like, what did you do, and what can I do now? Like, how do I get that clarity?
For me, what really locked it in was I was sick of hearing the fact that I had really great potential. At some point, potential runs out. At some point, potential needs to be something instead of actual potential. I made sure to stack my extracurriculars. I made sure to, stack experiences. I got observation hours. I knew academically I wasn't that strong, but I wanted the admissions board to look at my application and go, wow. I wanted them to almost be taken back by all the things that I've done. Just to share, those that don't know me, I'm a full-time faculty member at Cal State LA, supervisor at a national neurological hospital, director of programming at the Los Angeles Mission for Women of Rape and Abuse and Homelessness. And I co-teach an engineering class that helps people with disabilities with their wheelchairs and coming up with various assistive devices. So I wanted them to look at my application and go,
Say, wow,
done.
no brainer.
Done. And I actually, even so, I wanted any school that rejected me prior to be like, dang, you missed out. That's what I wanted. And I was applying, and I'm still applying with that in mind. I want somebody on admissions board be like, we missed her. We missed her. And so another thing also too was seeing you guys, for me out here in LA, I probably only met one Black doctor of physical therapy. And so that representation, seeing you, Casey, And Greg, for those that don't know Greg, you should, was something that kind of refueled me, you know, because I had all these outside influences saying, no, you can't do it. No, you can't do it. And then with my background, not being, you know, academically inclined and things of that nature. And like from where I am, the thought of being a doctor is laughable. That to that extent. And so with all the piles of negativity and like the lack of clarity, but the lack of guidance, representation, things of that nature, I was frustrated. And so seeing you guys do it, and then hearing also Casey's story about not getting in the first time, and here he is, you know, a doctor of physical therapy telling me that he was frustrated and pissed off when he was applying, and that it wasn't just me having to go through it, and he's at the other end, he's at the light at the end of the tunnel. And so that was actually really super motivating. And so that was one of the things that definitely helped kind of really lock me in even more.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's why, Nyasha, like, you alone have such a unique story that, like, it's in the best interest of, like, certain pre-PTs right now that don't even know they want to be PTs for you to get in to PT school, because you're already defying the odds. And one thing that I honestly believe is that everything happens the way it should if we let it. I think a lot of times we want to take hold of the driver's seat. And one thing, and I need y'all, like, if y'all want to write this down watching this, notice how this is not like a very like, hey, no, this is real talk. This is real talk. Like, one of the greatest pieces of wisdom that I was told was that, like, you can never know, like, whether something is good or bad, like, through the windshield. You can only know through the rearview mirror. In other words, experiences always equip you for whatever it is, like, for whatever else that you're destined for. Like, Casey's frustrations have equipped him to be who he is. Nyasha's, like, frustrations and now qualifications. Like, remember, like, as she was looking at other professional paths, like, look at what she's, like, ultimately become. Like, that's unique in itself. Yes, yeah, to stand out, that's just part of it. I think sometimes when we think so limited as pre-PTs, like, we're thinking, man, like, I mean, I've had multiple students ask me, they're like, Joseph, y'all coach students, so if this student has a low GPA and I have a low GPA and you tell us to do the same things, like, we're not really standing out. And I'm like, y'all, like, you're thinking in such a in a mindset that essentially states, like, you know, like, abundance mindset is on the one extreme, and then, like, the other extreme is, I can't remember what the term is, Nyasha. Like, what's the opposite of abundance? Like, I don't know if she can still hear me. But on the one hand, so she just disappeared. But you have an abundance mindset on one side, but you also have I can't remember the word. Y'all, listen. I usually know words, but it doesn't matter. Essentially, you believe that pretty much it's me against the world, which means that my opportunities only stand out if nobody else has them. Scarcity. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, like, I forget words, but scarcity mindset. And if that's the mindset you have, it's the most common type of mindset, and that's why a lot of people are losing. But if that's what you have, then it limits your ability to actually set yourself up to kill it, or to actually succeed as a pre-PT, as a future physical therapist. Honestly, I'll say this right now. It's the reason why physical therapy is struggling right now. Y'all are looking from the outside and saying, wow, PT is so amazing, PT is this. No, PT is actually struggling because of scarcity mindset. We think that everyone's out to get us, chiropractors, this, that, and the other. And you've been taught to think that through school and so much more. And if that's the way you look at it, then it becomes so difficult. But just understand, your frustrations, your struggles are your assets. Your struggles are going to equip you to become the person you need to become for whoever you need to serve. every frustration I've experienced has allowed me to become who I need to be now to serve you, to serve my patients. Every frustration Casey felt, same thing. Everything Nyasha went through. Let me see if she'll hop back on. Let's see, Nyasha. It's not perfect. Let's see if it add on. Everything Nyasha went through, same thing. It prepared her. It's preparing her to become the person she needs to be as a future physical therapist to serve others. And if you're going to look like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go off. Like if you're going to look at your struggles and say, dang, woe is me. I had this piece. I had this piece of becoming a physical therapist. I had this piece of getting into this profession that I absolutely love, but simply because I got rejected, simply because I had a low GRE, simply because I had this, simply because I had that, maybe I'm not qualified enough. It actually makes you more qualified. It makes you more qualified to serve people because you understand struggles. Like, how in the world are you going to be able to help somebody who's coming in to see you at your outpatient clinic who literally just tore their ACL, is a long distance runner? Running is their greatest outlet, and now they've lost it. So they're literally struggling. Their mental health is struggling because that's their outlet. Their relationship is struggling because they don't have their outlet. So they're taking out their frustration on their significant other, on their kids, and so much more. Like, how are you going to handle their struggles if you can't actually push through your own struggles? If you can't turn your frustrations, if you can't turn your situation, if you can't take your pain, if you can't take your misdirection. I actually don't think Nyasha took the wrong turn. I think she took the long way around. I actually don't think she took the wrong turn, because now she's talking to somebody on here. If she had gone the straight path, there's a good chance somebody in here will be like, well, that's not me. I'm considering other professions. I'm considering other options. She doesn't understand me. But because she did, and she's going to be a PT. We already know that. But because she did, now she can actually talk to you. She's more equipped to serve. And if you listen, oh my gosh, Nyasha, and I'll let you talk, because
No, you're good.
I need them to understand this. If you're going to serve, then you're going to have to redefine what your struggles really mean. Every single struggle is another added opportunity to serve somebody else.
Okay.
Can y'all write that below? Every single struggle is an added opportunity to serve someone else. Like, y'all, if y'all missed something from her story, then let it not be that. Every single struggle, every time you deflect, every time you say, hey, like, my GRE is super low, but I'm going to push through. Every struggle you push through, you can actually serve somebody else. Nyasha is like every time I talk to her, like, I joke around. Like, the first time I talked to this girl on the phone, I literally was like, she's the first student I have ever coached. The first student I've ever coached where I've literally been nervous before getting on the phone with her. I'm being so dead serious. Part of it is like her persona. Like, she's a goofball. Like, she's a blast. But at first she's like very serious. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna handle her. Like, and so we're getting on the call, and I'm just listening. I focus. Like, I'm in a room all by myself. I'm like, yo, listen to every word she's saying. Like figure out how you can serve her. All that. Like, now we're great friends. But the honest truth is, like, it was also because like I saw what she was doing. Like, she was telling me what she had been. I was like, holy crap, who are you? It came from her pain. It came from her struggles. You hit on representation. That's a pain. The fact that, like, there is not, like, the representation of, like, the population of the PT profession does not exist. It's a pain of yours. So for you, you're like, I need to be that person for the little black girl that wants to see it, or the little Hispanic, like, whoever else, so that nobody feels limited or nobody feels capped, regardless of their GPA, GRE scores, rejection. If you feel the peace, remember what we talked about in the beginning? If you feel that peace, that PT is what you want, then don't let anybody ever take it away from you. But you're going to have to redefine what your struggles really mean. If you cannot do that, then I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I mean, we want to help and all, but, like, I don't know what to tell you. So Nyasha, like how How have you now put it together for yourself? Finish up the story for us from your perspective. And what can we do as pre-PTs? Like, leave us with something. What can we actively do as pre-PTs now to get to that point where we redefine our struggles, where we regain control of our acceptance, where we lock in to the profession that gave us that peace when we first decided to join it?
I would definitely say live in your truth. For me, the hardest thing was not only admitting, but being open to the struggle. And, you know, this platform has definitely allowed people to be like, oh my gosh, you know, I can relate. I have had those same, you know, issues, that same frustration, that same struggle. And I think we kind of get into that mode of, I should be the perfect applicant, so I should mold myself to what I think a perfect pre-PT is, right? As opposed to just being yourself, being you. For me, it was very odd and frustrating because here I am, I'm a faculty member teaching at a university level, but here I just got rejected from physical therapy school. Last week, I had to give a letter of recommendation to one of my students applying to physical therapy school. So it was something that was heavy. And, you know, I always get, you know, mistaken for a physical therapist, whether that be, you know, at the service learning clinic that I treat at, or, you know, at the university. And it was like a hit every single time. Like, this is where I should be, but I'm not there. This is where I should be, but I'm not there. Because we put up that persona of this is the perfect physical therapy student, and we try and ship it and shove it to the universities, as opposed to being, this is my mold, you accept that. You accept that. As opposed to, please let me get into your physical therapy school. It's like, well, who's gonna get me? Who's gonna get me? If you shift that mindset and you realize how much power you truly have as a pre-physical therapy student and what you have to offer, play to your strengths. Don't try and mold yourself to something that they think they want. Be you. What were you had a life before you were pre-PT? What was that? What were your strengths? What were things that you had to overcome? What were your weaknesses? What are things that you had to work on? People don't realize that self-development is key, and truly knowing yourself is key before you start physical therapy school. I just went to a open house yesterday and spoke with a physical therapy student at the time, right now, I think she's in her second year. And she said one of the most important things is just truly knowing yourself. When do you need a break? When are you extrovert versus introvert? When do you need to study with a group versus isolated? When do you feel yourself burning out? Right? These are things that I think as an undergraduate, we kind of look over, right? And we just power through, just get the material, one and done. That doesn't work in physical therapy school. You really need to know yourself. How do you unwind? How do you de-stress? Those are things that you're going to have to know, not only for physical therapy school, but for life. This is like long term. If physical therapy school is stressful, after, when you have the responsibility of another individual's life in your hands, is a whole different game. So you need to be on top of your game so you can serve other people. Stop trying to put yourself in that mold.
I don't know what to say. That's everything. That's everything. Y'all are scared to get in because you've been trying to become somebody you're not. And you're all trying to become the same person that you're all not.
And it doesn't work. Actually, it shadows your own beauty. It shadows your own beauty. That comparison to other people, of what this person is doing, what that person is doing, it shadows your own beauty. Because like you said, now you all look the same. What's the difference? You've been trying to look like X, Y, and Z. They're all looking the same. So when admissions has it, I don't know, they're going to pick the person that wasn't trying to fit in that mold, that was true to themselves and wasn't trying to fit in that mold. So you have to. That's the only thing. I would say my biggest advice to pre-physical therapy students is truly find yourself, whether that be trying to fit in with a certain group, or trying to have alone time, trying to figure out your highs and your lows, because we all have it. That's another thing pre-PTs do. They try and get on this high all the time. This high, this high, this high, this high. It's okay to have lows. It's okay to mess up. It's okay that, on your practice test, you bombed at that first time.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten so accustomed to trying to be so perfect that we forget that it's okay to mess up. Casey was the number one person I was like, oh, finally somebody said it. Okay, not all PTs make it in the first round. And that's okay. And that's okay. And from that, you learn. I know outside looking in, it's like, what? I don't want to have to go through that. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you really, really do have to, because it really does. It creates your mold. It creates your mold.
Nyasha, listen, y'all. Let's just give her a round of applause. Like, Nyasha, that was pure fire. I don't think I've done this. I don't think I've done a live stream that long with a guest before, ever. But, yeah, Brandon's like, Joseph, this is getting accepted to the acceptance system course. Wait till you hear this back. Yeah, actually, let me tell y'all something. First of all, like, Nyasha and I got introduced after a training that she went to earlier this year. I'll have her tell y'all about it in just a little bit. But she is also, this is the first time we're announcing this, so I'm announcing this out here. She is the very first student in the accepted system to also have a training video of her own inside of the platform. Now, this is like the most powerful like pre-PT platform. This is the program this is like our highest like coaching program that we have for students. If y'all want to know about it, like, hit us up, contact preptguy.com. But like, she's legit the first student. Like, it's like me, Casey, and like a few other guest and then her. And so I guess this is video too, Nyasha. Like, we might have to take this one, slice it up a little bit, and just like, because you're just straight fire. But y'all need to hear this. You need to hear this. You're playing a losing game if all you think is, how can I only raise my GPA? How can I only do this? How can I only do that? All the while looking over your shoulder, shoot, everybody's doing the same thing. Maybe I got to do it faster. Maybe I got to do this. Oh, wait, I can't help y'all, man, listen, y'all know how, I'm going to call y'all out. Like, do y'all know how many times I literally tell people, hey, tag a friend on this video so they can watch it too, and nobody does it? It's not like they didn't watch the video. It's not like they don't have a friend. It's just that we've been taught to think, scarcity mindset. We've been taught to think that,
oh man,
I have the edge.
Yep.
So why the heck would I actually give somebody else this edge? That puts us as equals. Nyasha just gave y'all the answer. You have to figure out, like, how do I blow it out of the water? I gotta play my own game. Now, you gotta have clarity. You gotta know how to play in that game. Like, when y'all see sports players, do y'all see Michael Jordan? Y'all are all young bloods, most of y'all, right? Some of y'all are not. So if y'all have seen Michael Jordan on YouTube, if y'all know who Michael Jordan is, he's one of the greatest basketball players, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. And if you really don't know, like, I'm judging you. No, I'm kidding. But the honest truth is, Michael Jordan, if you go and watch videos of Michael Jordan, does he say, like, I am this? No, he's him. Like, he literally got into a game. He understood how the game worked. Do you understand how the game works? Most of y'all don't. That's why you're freaking out. 2, he understood who he was. Nyasha just gave y'all that. He knew what his strengths were. He's 6'6". He's not a 7'2" guy. He knew what his strengths were. How was he going to play to them? Was he going to post, go going back up the biggest center? No. Was he crafty? Yeah. Could he jump? Yeah. I mean, so he had to play to his strengths. But because of that, because he knew exactly who he was, because he knew the game, because he had the greats, the people who had come before him to guide him, he could actually become his own unique person. That's how you apply. Right. Y'all are trying to be the Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant, same thing. LeBron is they're all different. They all take from the greats. But if you're playing a game where you're saying, hey, I watched the YouTube video on how to play basketball, like, all you know is how to play basketball. You don't know how to be the greatest player in the world. So if all you're doing is saying, I've listened to my advisor who's told me A, B, C, D, all you know is how to apply generally, how to be a good-ish pre-PT, but then it's causing most of your anxieties because you're freaking out about what everybody else knows. So 1, change your mindset. 2, play your own game. 3, figure out who can pull that game out of you. Nyasha found that. That's why she has the confidence she has. That's why she now has 2 videos in the acceptance system, I guess. Like, I mean, this is going to be like a bonus. The other one is a real training. This is like a bonus. You might just put this, like, just, it's like an extra because, but this is key to understand.
And just to play off of what you said, that was one of the key things that also helped too. You guys have to remember, you want to do things after physical therapy school, right? Whether that be business owner, clinician, things of that nature. So the person right and left of you, guess what? They want to do something different too. They're not going to want to do the same exact thing that you are doing. I learned that, thankfully, through the acceptance system as well. They're not my competition. They're your ally.
Woo. Yeah.
They don't want to open up, a CrossFit gym. You might. That's great. It's that short-mindedness that really hinders pre-PTs in cultivating relations with one another. It's this betting against one another as opposed to let's join together and let's move forward farther. You guys got to get out that mentality. They want to do something else. I want to do something else. I want to, I've already started my own business and my own practice. So these are things that might not align with somebody else. Yes, you guys want to get into physical therapy school. Guess what? Physical therapy school is 3 years of your life. You have a whole big chunk of the rest of your life in physical therapy. This much. So wouldn't you want to power through with your future coworkers? Wouldn't you want to power through with your future business partners? Get out of that mentality.
Teach them out.
Unity is key. Unity is key. Who you think is your enemy is your ally.
This really might have been the best interview I've ever done. This might have literally been the best interview I've ever done, ever. Like listen, y'all show Nyasha some love as we wrap this thing up. Like, show her some love. Man, like, what I want y'all to do is this. 1, I want y'all to actually, like, comment what your biggest takeaway was tonight. I usually don't ask that. I want you to actually comment, like, what your biggest takeaway was tonight. I want y'all to start seeing what everybody else's biggest takeaway was. If you're just joining us now, this is one you're going to have. Like, you're going to want to watch this again. Nyasha, we're going to turn this to a podcast episode, too. So whoever's listening to this right now, like, just, my goodness, you've been blessed. Rewind. Like, do it again. But the honest truth is, like, I want y'all to comment, like, what your biggest takeaway was. And number 2, we really can't play. I don't know how much more clear we have to be. You're literally playing a game that is meant for you to struggle and compare yourselves with each other and literally allow y'all to chew each other out and put yourself in a position where you're not even, honestly, it's the single thing that's killing, like, it's killing PT. Like I told y'all at the beginning, like, PTs themselves have been brought up this way so that, like, when they're in the profession, they're so anti each other that if they see someone else, like I've had PTs tell me and Casey, Shut down pre-PT grind. It's not actually helping them. Send them to a website or whatever. Like, I was like, there's nothing giving them this. So I don't like, I just do me in case he just does him. And we love y'all. So we're going to do our thing, right? See, like when you're in your own world, you just do what you got to do to serve people. But it's simply because they're looking and they're like, these guys are less than 2 years out of PT school and they have the biggest pre-PT platform in the world. Like, how in the world? Okay, let me actually try to get them to stop. So I'm just going to tell them that this is actually hurting the profession. I'm going to tell them that this is pointless. I'm going to tell them it's a waste of time to be spending an hour on a live stream with one of their students to do A, B, C, D. I'm going to tell them this. I actually had one of my clinical instructors, CIs, my last year in PT school, tell me, yo, like, Joseph, this is a waste of your time. You will regret this. This is the same man who had been in the profession for 32 years and was still frustrated with his situation. Clearly something didn't work. I'm not doing this to call people out, but you have to say, like, what do I really want in life, and understand that you are equipped as an individual to be you. Your stories are yours. Your experiences are yours. Your frustrations are yours. Do not try to mask them. Your struggles are yours. Do not try to hide. What's up, Kashan? Like, do not try to hide them. They are what make you great. They equip you with, like, you are destined for greatness as a pre-PT if you understand that.
Yeah,
so as we wrap it up, this Sunday, we got a training. I have I'm about to break down some stuff for y'all. We have a training on Sunday at 12 p.m. It will not be a Facebook Live. It's the 6 key steps that we have taught Nyasha and our well over 100 acceptance system students to get accepted into PT school without having to waste time, without having to waste money, regardless of fear of rejection, low GPA, low GRE score. It doesn't matter. You want to be there. If you're like, I'm tired of playing the game the way the system, the way school, the way my advisors, the way everybody else is playing it, if you really want to stand out, you're going to want to be there. So go to someone comment this below, www.leveluptheprept.com. www.leveluptheprept.com. If you're in California and you're about to eat supper, go register for it before you eat supper. If you're in the East Coast like me and you're about to go to sleep, go register right now before you go put on your pajamas. Like, go in there, put in your email, put in your name. All you have to do is just sign up for it, and you get an email with a link to it. Simple. Be there. You're going to want to be there. If this is how you want, if you're like, this stuff makes sense, like the stuff that you have to just drop right now, it makes sense. I haven't really been introduced to that way of thinking. Then you're going to want to be there. Because if you really love that level of peace you had when you decided to be a physical therapist, then you're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to preserve that. Does that make sense?
If you're not doing it yet, if you're not hitting that link, you're hindering yourself in some way, shape, or form. You are hindering yourself. You are being your own worst enemy. You're being your own blockade. You're doing it. And the worst thing is, you probably don't know exactly what you're doing to do it. You don't even see it. You with the blinders driving into a brick wall.
Man, it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Go to www.leveluptheprept. And tell you what, because we've been talking about the abundance mindset, go find somebody else and give them the link too.
I know you guys work at 8 offices and all, so like, I know.
Yo, me actually out here like calling people out, like, I see you. Man, listen, that's it. Tonight, we just wanted to give y'all some hope, but we want to give y'all some some truth. This is the truth of the matter. Nyasha laid it out. Literally, you could take this training, and if you could just internalize what we talked about tonight, you'd be good. Straight up. Straight up. So if y'all want to level up with us, see you on Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. It is not on Facebook, so you don't want to like set up some time. Make sure you got your popcorn. Actually, no. Make sure you get your pen and paper ready. Make sure you had a good breakfast. Get your exercise before, because you're gonna need to just be mentally sharp and ready to go. But we're gonna show you some stuff. www.leveluptheprept.com. Go register right now. Simple as that.
And if you
Go
got
find a
work,
friend.
we get it. Make sure that you watch the replay. Just as long as you are registered before Sunday, you can hit the replay. There's no
Boom.
excuse. There's no excuse.
That's it. That's it. Nine. Nyasha, you are the realest, fam. Like you the realest. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing your truth. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
like authentically you, and thank you so much for being such a beast. Like real talk. But it's come with just reinterpreting what your frustrations have been and turning them into gold. And that's exactly what it is right now. So that's it, y'all. You guys have an amazing rest of your Tuesday evening. We'll see you on Sunday. Go click that link. Stop playing games. Deuces. Many blessings.
All right.